All right, you guys, welcome back. I have been sitting on this conversation for a little while now, mostly because I think I was still internally processing. And I can definitely say, 10 toes down, one of the most unique conversations that you have never heard before on this podcast. I don't even know where to start. Like, everyone in the industry knows Alex is a wild card. And I said, I want to have a conversation with him on here. And sure enough, did not disappoint. We ended up getting into psychedelics and how he is actually funding a study that is researching if psilocybin can actually help cure gambling addiction. And it is as insane as it sounds. Anyway, this is MaxBet. All right, you guys, my ick of the week is one that I think a certain demographic in gaming will absolutely attune to. I realized the last 2 years that I've been to ALEA, which have also been the only 2 years I have been to ALEA, the Indian Gaming Association trade show in San Diego, back to back, I was told in so many words by a man that their musical preferences were in fact superior. Why does this matter? It doesn't really matter. Does it annoy me? Yes, because music is so subjective. That's ridiculous to assume that your musical choices are God's gift to man. So this started last year. I'm in a situation where you can't leave, right? I'm also fighting for my life in this conversation, okay? So I asked this person, what are you listening to these days? What are you into? This man looks me dead in the eyes and he goes, you wouldn't know any of them. Sorry. What? You wouldn't know any of the bands that I'm listening to right now. He's 1000% serious, right? Right. Okay, cool. Do you want to just name one band? I would love to see. And then he names Rufus Du Sol. And I'm just going to leave that at that. Then this past year, again, pretty much just the same Twilight Zone situation where I can't leave. I asked this person, what are you listening to these days? And his response is, my taste is so eclectic. I just don't listen to what other people listen to. I don't listen to what's considered normal. And I said, okay, pick me. Why don't you just give me one song from one artist that you're into? I put it in my liked Spotify playlist. I forget about it. Next day, I'm walking through the airport. My AirPods are in. And then suddenly, my eardrums are accosted by this sound. I'm scrambling like a cartoon character, trying to get my phone out of my pocket to be like, what is absolutely assaulting my senses right now? I look at my phone, and it is the song that he suggested. And I don't hate it if you love it. I'm never going to yuck somebody else's yum. I think that's great for you. However, when you act like your song choices are that superior, please. And in that moment, I felt really vindicated. Really vindicated. Anyway, that's my ick of the week, and I stand by that. All right, a quick break to talk about one of our sponsors, IGT. They are celebrating 30 years of Wheel of Fortune slots, and the numbers are genuinely insane. That game alone has made 1,200 millionaires, and they've paid out $3.7 billion in jackpots. They have truly set the benchmark for a legacy brand. So it's no surprise that this year they're going to be going pretty big and celebrating even bigger. They're releasing content all year long. If you are an operator and you would like to have those games on your floor, you can contact your IGT rep, or you can also go to IGT.com. And now back to the show. This segment is called Red Flag or Green Flag. I'm going to give you a situation, and you have to tell me if it's a red flag or a green flag. Okay. So the Trump family lost their casino empire. So they are now investing in prediction markets. This is not new. This is not surprising news. Everybody knows this. Until you realize that their administration is also going to be writing the rules for that instead of being a part of like the patchwork program that we have currently going on. That's a whole different beast. The red flag case for this situation would obviously be that this is a clear conflict of interest, right? The green flag case for this could possibly be the line between a futures contract and a sports bet has always kind of been made up. So maybe this will finally get everyone on the same page to decide what we're doing here. So it could breed some clarity, but what do you think? Is this a red flag or a green flag? Tell me in the comments. Mince no words, please. All right, let's get to our guest today, guys. My guest is Alexander Tomic. He is the co-founder of ALEA, a multi-award-winning gaming aggregator. He also hosts his own podcast called Under Pressure, where he interviews industry leaders inside a hyperbolic chamber, which for those of you who don't know Alex yet, by the end of this interview, you're going to go, oh yeah, that makes sense. That tracks. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he do that? I had been following Alex for a couple years now, and the stars finally aligned for us to be in the same place at the same time to film this episode. So I'm very excited to bring it to you. Here is Alexander Tomic on MaxBet. All right, welcome back to MaxBet Podcast. We're here with Alex Tomic, the founder of ALEA, with many other side projects as well. Not quite the CEO, but you're getting there. So you're on your way.
Exactly. One day.
Yeah, one day at a time.
It's my dream.
Yeah. But I'm excited to talk to you today because we connected like back last March at Next, but you don't make it to Vegas all the time. So I'm happy we can make this happen here. But thanks for making the time.
Thank you for having me, Hillary, and in this beautiful setup you got,
Yeah, it's great. We've got original tunnels behind us for the listener that are from Barcelona in the 1800s, I think. I'm butchering that.
Some
We'll figure that
catacombs
out.
and
Yeah.
secret passage.
I hope we have a lot of ghosts around us right now, like a lot of spirits. I think that would be great.
Ooh.
I think they would. Yeah. I feel like you're probably into that too, Alex. I think you'd be down for that. You also have another side project, which is super fascinating. I know you're really into biohacking and wellness is super important to you. I just want to know first, how did you get started in that? Like, what was kind of the journey that brought you here? Because I know it's a very big passion of yours.
It's a sad story. My mother died from cancer 25, maybe 30 years ago now. I don't remember. I was 27. I've tried to find a way to cure her, which is completely, if you think about it, it's a fantasy. And I went into a lot of things. Let's say it would be my first attempt to understand biology, what we can do, why do we get sick, how can we not get sick. And then my father, 2020, he died in 2020, but he started having dementia 5 years before, let's say 2015. I brought him from France, and basically I set up a small hospital in my apartment, and we had a lot of nurses coming, etc. And I tried to understand what he had and how I could have. I still think that if I had the knowledge back in time that I have today, I could have saved him. You see, and it's not just me, my life, my father. I think for a lot of people, they get sick, and there's very simple things to do that our society don't do, because we just we take treatment, medicine instead of removing toxins, for example. And I think that I could have done something. But what I did with my father, one of the most important things, I did give him psychedelics, actually. I remember mushrooms now. That comes back to my mind. I have even filmed it, and we had good fun.
Yeah. Did he enjoy it?
Yeah, he enjoyed it.
Okay,
yes.
good.
Yeah, he did enjoy it. And he couldn't talk anymore at that time. So I needed to be sure he wanted to do it. So because he had dementia, he couldn't talk. He still had his higher functions, but he couldn't talk and walk. And I asked him, Dad, you remember when I was like 17 years old, and you opened that box and there was something inside, and you asked me if it was drugs, etc. And I said, no. Basically, he didn't tell me the same day. He came the day after, and he said, I found something there in that box. I said, really? What do you think it is? He said, I think it's drugs. I said, can you open the box? He opened the box. There's no drug inside. There's nothing. And I said, see, there's nothing. You found nothing. That's really bad.
Oh.
And I say, remember that? He said, yeah. He's like, okay, so I got something here. It's stronger. You're going to have a really, really nice trip, but it can help you with the brain. You want to try it? Yes. Okay. I mixed it, gave him to drink, and then he started tripping. He was like, wow. So I did that. I did many, many other things. And I bought an hyperbaric chamber. I bought an hyperbaric chamber because it could restore the blood flow to the brain, okay, perfusion to the brain. So it worked very well. It was unresponsive for a couple of weeks. The nurse had to like shake him a little bit to give him to eat, which is a problem because then after you really need to feed him through a nasal thing that goes in the stomach. And they didn't want to help me to put him in a chamber because of the liability. God knows what can happen. But I was thinking, I don't care because he's dying.
Yeah.
There's nothing, there's no risk anymore. Let's say he dies in the chamber, I'm going to have to face the police, but he's going to die anyway in a couple of days, weeks. It's not going to last longer. Actually, the nurses were telling me later, much later, let him go before that. And I put him in the hyperbaric chamber with a crane because he couldn't walk. So the liability also was the fact that he could slip away from the harness and just fall on the floor and break in thousands of pieces. So I put him in the chamber. I remember I couldn't get him out after. And for 2 hours trying to re-harness him, etc. So put him inside, close it, put the pressure, put some heart monitor, look at my phone. He was like inside, he was not happy at all. And before that, I spent like 2 months going in the chamber, putting the chamber, because it was like something you could move, in front of the sofa where I was sitting, and I was going in the chamber myself. I did like 20, 30 times. I was doing the clown, you know. I was going to the chamber, getting out of the chamber, going, oh, I feel good, blah, 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 blah. You want to try it? No, you want to try it? And after, I don't know, like maybe 1 month, he said, okay, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Put him there. His eyes open up, and he starts screaming, like waking up. I was like, what? Amazing. And the nurse came the day after, and I said, Alex, what are you doing? What drugs you giving him? Because we give him already a lot of drugs, and they can interact with the drugs we're giving you. We know you. Did you give him some psychedelic or something? I say, no, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the chamber. You don't want to help me with it? Okay, we're going to help you. We see it works. And after 20 sessions, you know, diabetics, they have brown legs because the blood doesn't flow, and they even need sometimes to cut the feet. It's called necrosis, and it's used today in the hospital hyperbaric chamber in order to don't cut the feet of the diabetics. They went completely white in 20 sessions. So it really worked very well. Then he got COVID, he died. But basically, that's how it came. I mean, all the interest about biohacking was not losing the people you love. So then we got this chamber at the office, and we thought, what are we going to do with it? And we start doing meetings and just telling people, go there, it's good for you, relax. Another employee brought his father. He had some kind of, his hair was, he couldn't hear from one side. And in his case, hyperbaric chamber helped. I have the same problem, but in my case, I think it comes from too much hyperbaric chamber. I think I overdid. Yeah,
It went the
I overdid.
I was going to ask, is there a downside? Like, is there so much is there too much hyperbolic chamber?
Yeah.
And you said, why don't we also have a podcast in there as well, right? Is that in the hyperbolic chamber?
Yes, we do the podcast in the hyperbaric chamber because the concept was, where do we do the podcast when we are on a show? You know, like ice.
Yeah.
So we need to build a room that's isolated from the noise of all the other booths. Some other booths, they come, they are singers and whatever. So why don't we bring the hyperbaric chamber? Because also it's cool. And for myself, I thought, back in time I was still drinking, and I was partying, and you end up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you're sleep deprived, you're hangover. There's nothing better, no drug can help you as much as a session in the hyperbaric chamber. So I thought, I'm going to do my meetings. So it first started like that, actually. I'm going to do my meetings in the hyperbaric chamber, and by doing the meetings in the hyperbaric chamber, I'm going to feel better. And I remember it was SBC, the last SBC in Barcelona. Some guys came at the office at midnight when we just closed the office party and said, yeah, is there still a party? I said, come on, guys, don't. You know, these veterans from the industry, they've been here for 20 years, they're crazy as fuck. And you got some booze? This is not about, you got some drugs? I said, no, guys, come on. And he ended up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God.
Before the first day. So I didn't even sleep. I went to the show. I locked myself into the chamber and I started doing meetings after meetings. And after 2 or 3 hours, all the hangover, all the sleep deprivation disappeared. And I remember that night going on a dinner and going till 2 o'clock in the morning again. So first it was like having a meeting room where also you can recover. It's cool. It's a cool feature. And then we thought, hey, the podcast there, because we thought about the podcast since 2020. And we call it Under Pressure. And it's a fantastic gimmick. But not only, I think that the setup is very interesting for two reasons. First, because it looks like a little Russian spaceship. It has this retro futuristic look,
Yeah.
you know. And the second thing is that when people are under pressure with oxygen, after 10-minute mark, I know them a little bit, they start feeling the effect of just oxygen alone will make you a little bit, ooh.
Yeah.
But if you put the pressure, it multiplies the effect of the oxygen. And the reaction of the people, the way their mind, their brain function is not exactly the same. It's like a little bit like a disinhibitor. And you see it. If you look at the podcast carefully at the beginning, and very quickly there's this kind of woo effect, like they took popper or like, I don't know, something else.
Yeah.
There is this thing, you know?
Oh. Okay, so you said people open up on there and say things that they probably wouldn't normally.
Yeah.
What are some of the most interesting things you've heard people say?
First, when David Natroshvili, the co-founder and CEO of Scribe, came, I was really honored because he didn't do podcasts before that, maybe one. And he came and he basically, he said, okay, you know what? We're not a public listed company. We don't have to tell the numbers, but that's how much we make. Bam, 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 all the numbers. I was like, is this guy gonna ask us after to edit all this? Because he gave everything. Thank you, David. I don't know where the camera is. Thank you, David. He gave everything. I was like, what the fuck? And we had Jonas Stegman from No Limit City. We made a short one. I always think this podcast should have been longer because Jonas is a beautiful soul. I don't know how to say it differently. I love the guy. And
What company is he with?
No Limit City.
Okay.
Founder of No Limit City.
Okay.
And he's still working. Huh? He sold it to Evolution. The guy is still working. And you see the passion and you see the authenticity. Like when it starts saying, we're doing games that were crap, were shit. And then all this journey, you know, and it's about the entrepreneurship journey, but the fact that it's so authentic. Eman did a beautiful podcast where he said so personal things. It is funny, all of them, Alex Pratt and also Rasmus Soijmark from SBC. They tell their story, and Pierre lately, I can't name them all, I'm sorry, but they so authentic. They really, wow, the Michael Schmidt podcast. Sorry, I cannot tell about that. And that was the last one we did. We have 70,000 views on Michael Schmidt. That was also a hell of a podcast. And the guy, there's a tipping point in the podcast when he says, I was trying to sell media and I had the feeling that all this iGaming club was something I couldn't enter. It was like an iGaming club, like a club, a private club, you know, and I wasn't allowed to enter that club. Nobody wanted to do media with me. And I said, so then you went after them out of frustration? He said, yes. I went after them out of frustration. They created their own devil. And I say, you're kind of like the Baba Yaga, you know, in that's how the Russian mobs, they call John Wick. We call him Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. And he said, exactly. And he's so honest about it. I'd love to believe that it's my personality that opens them up like a little flower.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
the
think there's
chamber a little
something.
bit
I
too,
think
yeah?
I think there's something more.
Yeah.
You know.
That's so fascinating. And I hear you had Pedro on, or you're going to have Pedro on?
We did the prep call with Pedro a couple of days ago, and Pedro is scheduled for Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah.
And Pedro is going to be a good one. Pedro is a sweetheart. Like Jonas Tegman, he's a beautiful human being. And Pedro, we met a couple of years ago at iGaming Next, and he was looking for funding for psychedelic studies, how psychedelic can help, because there's a lot of studies that have been made about psychedelics. They can help you get off benzodiazepines, of alcohol, of heroin. They can help you with depression when you have post-traumatic stress. I mean, there's so many things they can help you with.
Because you guys are doing a project together, right? You and Pedro?
Yes, so
you're collaborating.
Exactly. So he was looking for funding for that study about how psychedelics could treat people that have gambling addiction. And he said to me, "Would like to participate?" I said, "Yeah." And he said to me, "Okay, then could you sign a paper where you said that you would fund up to 30%, so I can show it to the other." I won't name them because they didn't want to come after the big companies of this industry. And they would come and say, "Yeah." And he said, after a couple of months, he doesn't come back to me. I said, "Pedro, what's going on, you know?" And he said, "No, nobody wants to do it." I said, "Okay, let's do it just with ALEA. Let's cut the project in two, because it was like something like 150K pound. Could we, instead of have 20 participants, we have 10? I think we had 8 at the end. We even couldn't find them. Yes, let's do 75K. We pay 100% of it. Okay? So they took veterans that had comorbidity with gambling. The organization is called Heroic Hearts. They went to Holland. They gave them the truffles. And now it was 3 months ago. Pedro was there, and now he's waiting more or less 1 year to look at the effect on their gambling addiction, and he's going to publish his paper with the University of Gibraltar, I think. He's, I don't know how to say, a doctorant. He's going to become a doctor after he publishes his study.
Okay.
And the fascinating thing is, and I think I can talk about it because he received the validation from the veteran to talk about it. He's going to make a case study of it. So it's going to be another paper he's going to publish about it. It's very interesting. We see that psychedelics, and especially in our industry, I mean, I always say that I don't think that we necessarily bring value to society as the gambling industry. We do bring entertainment. You could argue that entertainment is value. But I feel very interesting that as an industry, we can do as much as we can to constrain the effects of the product that we're selling. Let's say like alcohol or tobacco. Okay, let's drink. Why not? A glass of wine is fantastic. Have a good cognac is amazing. You just don't want to have people that are getting drunk. Okay, that are binge drinking. A cigar is fantastic, but you don't want people that are smoking 2 packs of cigarettes per day. All right, and I think we're the same. It's fine to gamble. There's no problem with gambling per se. I have no problem. I mean, I can't have problem with gambling. I've been doing this for 20 years, but we just need to make sure that people are not getting addicted to that. And if they are, as an industry, it's interesting that we do participate into studies where we can help people to get rid of this addiction. If it's with psychedelics, why not?
Yeah. It's all about managing risk, really.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
managing risk and footprints.
How long have you been in the industry again? 20
years.
20 years.
Yeah, a little bit more even, 21, 22.
Okay. What do you wish you would have known or someone would have told you when you got into the industry versus where you are now?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No. I mean, it's like playing a game. You learn the game by playing the game. I've learned so much. I've played different personas. I've been the guy that would go out with partners and customers till 11 o'clock in the morning, getting drunk, taking drugs, doing crazy stuff. Today, completely on the other side of the fence. I'm usually in bed at 12 o'clock. I don't drink alcohol anymore. I don't smoke, don't take drugs, except psychedelics in very controlled environment, like clinical environments. That's what I do today. And both are important. I don't say that I shouldn't have done the other one before.
Right.
I think I've done it at the right time. And neither I think I should continue doing what I was doing before. I mean, it's not sustainable. Nothing. I'm just so grateful for the journey. It's an amazing journey. And I went with Eman yesterday, that is a dear friend of mine, Eman from Sigma. And we were in a cab and we were moving from dinner to dinner, from party to party. And he said, how lucky we are. I said, man, we're blessed. We're very blessed. And he said, we're talking with Asians now, and now I'm talking with Russians, and now, and we are in such a vibrant industry. We're really, we should be grateful for where we are and what we do. It's very special.
What's your biggest takeaway from the past 20 years? Like, what do you think has been the biggest lesson you've learned if you had to boil it down to one, or one of your top 5?
I think that I could have been less of a brat sometimes, less of an asshole. I have my own shadow, and kindness is underrated.
Yeah.
Really, little act of kindness with people you don't know, but especially with people you know. And don't be an asshole to people you know. Don't be an asshole to people you don't know. Don't escalate when you don't get the room or the service you believe you deserve. Don't be that person. Chill out. Don't take yourself seriously. Smile. Everything that's given to you is a gift. Your life is a gift. The fact that I hope I'll be alive tonight, I'll wake up tomorrow, just that is a gift. Standing on my both legs is a gift. The coffee is not the best, doesn't matter. It's okay. Smile at the lady. Thank her for the coffee. You can say, I like better this way or this way, but don't be an asshole. If there's one thing, yes, to come back maybe to a previous question. Yes, that don't take yourself seriously. Don't go on your high horses. Don't be an asshole. Be a kind person.
What is a spicy take you have about the gaming industry?
Sex and drugs. I'm sure, maybe not.
What?
Maybe
What a pivot! What a pivot! Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Look, maybe it's rock and roll. Sex and drugs. Yeah, it's look, that's what came out. So we're not gonna take it back. It's a very fun industry. It's very fun.
Yeah.
It's I see, especially for young people that come in the industry, if they're hungry, this money to make, you need to give it all, kind of. It means it becomes a lifestyle. It's not just a 9 to 6 work, and it blends with your personal life. It's a dedication. It's like a vocation. We are traveling all the time. I remember talking with a customer of mine. I said, I went to 50 countries this year. I said, 50 countries, like 52 weeks in a year. You made one country per year. He said, exactly. He said, you have a girlfriend? He said, of course not. I can't. I said, of course you can't. I saw him like 6 months ago, and he has a girlfriend now. I mean, if I would be an alien, I would look at the iGaming industry and I'd say, wow, maybe the show business industry and the iGaming industry is something very similar there,
Yeah.
how they live their life.
If you were an alien, that's what you would do.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do as an alien, but I don't think I'd be looking at well, I don't know. They are pretty entertaining. So maybe I would actually.
I say it as an alien as I believe they do study us.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they must pick people or crowds that they study. They may have some aliens of specific industry to study specific type of crowd. I don't know what they do. That
Can you imagine them?
What's the hierarchy, of the craft? But I would like to be the alien that is as the iGaming industry as this industry subject study, whatever.
Yeah. Can you imagine he's going to lunch with his friends? He's like, guys, you'll never guess.
Yeah, these guys are fucked up. Really crazy.
Sex and drugs. Yeah, it's crazy. This episode is also brought to you by Eilers Krejcik Gaming. If you work in this industry and you're not reading their research, you are basically flying blind. They cover gaming equipment, performance, iGaming, sports betting, and they do it with actual data. Operators, suppliers, regulators, investors, these are the people EKG is built for. Data is everywhere. It's time to stay informed. You can find out more at ekgamingllc.com. And now back to the show. All right, so we're going to switch gears a little bit. And we always do a rapid fire. So it's like this or that. You can't explain it, though. You just have to pick one. And that's your answer. And that's what you're committed to for the rest of time. So data or gut instinct?
Gut.
Okay.
I lied to you. I'm data. I'm moving towards gut. I do everything I can to move towards gut. I'm very data focused, and I work a lot with my therapist, with a lot of people, to move towards gut.
Again, you got to pick one, but I'll give you that one. Are prediction markets sports betting?
Are they sports betting?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, I guess.
Are prediction markets
can
sports
they be
betting?
Sports betting?
I mean, today, yes. Tomorrow, they're going to become casino. They're just too busy doing sports betting right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little bit into like everyone else in the gaming industry. They're going to become casino soon. Just their data are going to feed RNGs that are going to go into slots. Yet today, it's sports betting. So no, they're not. I wouldn't say they're sports. I would say they're more than that.
Okay, got it.
They're much more than that.
Got it.
I mean, it's not even that. I mean, look, the prediction with Maduro, Trump and Maduro, it's a societal tool to see what's happening. It's a prediction tool. If you look at Polymarket, it means it looks like shit. And you look at what people are betting on and how it moves through time, it's fascinating. And I'm sure there's going to be scientific studies about that in the future.
Yeah.
Because maybe how it impacts reality. The fact that people are believing in one thing and another and putting money on the table, I find it fascinating.
That's a take I have not heard before. I'm very interested to see what happens with that. All right, a couple more. But you're not very good at this so far, Alex. Okay. Sigma or SBC?
Oh, you can't do that to me. Come on. You want me to lose a friend?
I'm just saying. You said people were saying spicy things on your podcast.
Threesome. So. Okay? Totally
fine.
Threesome. No. Bring Pierre too. Foursome. Wait, Alex. Fivesome.
Okay,
the
you
more
guys are all in bed together, and that's just...
The more the merrier. All of them.
Oh my God. And lastly, who do you think should come on the podcast next?
You should invite Jonas Stegman from No Limit. Why I say that? Because I have a sensation and unfinished conversation with him, which doesn't mean that you should finish my conversation with him. I should finish my conversation with him. But, all the other one, they've done several podcasts. Jonas, I think, has only done ours. So I think it would be a great addition to your podcast. Maybe Michael Schmidt too. You want to do views? Michael Schmidt. Don't think twice. You want to make views? Michael Schmidt.
I want to make an interesting episode. So
Michael Schmidt
yeah,
also.
okay.
But you need to be prepared, huh?
Oh, why?
Because the man is controversial. So yes, we had a lot of issues after that, and we still have, and we're probably gonna have other people doing the same job, other investigators that hates us since we gave Michael visibility. Some of our partners may not like us for that, but at some point, what's the point of doing a podcast like that if you cannot have this type of conversation?
Right.
First, second, and I agree with Pierre. Yeah, I did a podcast with Pierre also before that, but there was a release after that where he says, and I really agree with Pierre. Yeah, you need to have some kind of, I don't remember the word he used, but a good relationship with the people that you work with, that you interview. They don't feel that you're looking to put them down. They don't feel that you're here to snipe them because you're gonna get a reward. You know, this kind of people that are going after people and they're shooting them down, and it's almost like a bounty, you know, and you don't want to be like that. And I had the feeling that Michael wasn't like that. I had the feeling that he should be known for not being like that. That is a much more complex character than what people see, has much more depth, much more shades. And I wanted people to hear his story because I believed that there was something there that we didn't see, and that was at the heart of our industry, that everybody was talking about. So it's like a black hole, you know? Everybody's talking about it, everybody's affected by it, and or the elephant in the room, let's say, and nobody is acknowledging it. So yeah, that answers your question. You would have a very interesting conversation, and you make a lot of views.
Well, I can't wait. That sounds great.
Voila.
I'm excited about that. Well, Alex, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for inviting me, Larry. It's been sometimes that we talked about this. I was really looking forward to doing this podcast with you.
Yeah,
Thank
well,
you so
I
much.
appreciate that. Thank you so much for sharing your insights. And I'm very interested to hear about the results from the study that Pedro and you are putting together. So
Cool.
Keep us updated on that. And have a maybe go easy on the hyperbaric chamber this week. I don't know. I'll let you guys figure that one out. But thank you so much.
Thank you.